Hello everyone, welcome to Ghost Prime's Transformer Reviews. Today I'll be taking a look at Warfare Cybertron Siege Starscream. So this guy looks pretty cool. He has a lot of detail. For me, it's kind of a mixed bag, and I'll go into why a little bit in the review. He's okay. He's okay. One of the things that is always a question for me is where does a figure fit in my collection? This is one of those figures that I don't think I have a place for. Now, if I was just collecting the Siege line, I would definitely have a place for it. It fits really well, the Siege figures. I'll show you why that I'm not going to put it in my Generations Classics line in just a minute. So without any further ado, let's get to the review. All right, let's start things off with the box of this guy. Now, I ordered this guy off Amazon. So when I received him, he was not in a shipping box. He was in a shipping wrap, a bubble wrap. So I don't know if you kind of see in that light. The box got kind of crushed. If I was well, I do collect some boxes, but if this was a masterpiece or a figure that I would be collecting the box for, I would definitely be returning it. That's too much. The figure itself was fine in the box. It didn't have any issues because I do put enough plastic in there to keep it from getting crushed. The box artwork is very nice on the side. It does have the standard lettering here, and it has a Decepticon logo here, which is the Generation 1 logo. Let's see if I get the light in there. I don't have a black light to see it. Maybe you can see that. With the Generation 1 logo with the triangle eyes. So other than that, it's pretty standard. Same image as all the rest of the Siege boxes on the side. The back has some pictures displaying Starscream in his robot mode. Shows him with the Battle Masters and just a couple other little things. It does show the this Battle Master, which I don't believe is out yet, which will be coming out soon. He's got a decent box. My favorite is this image. This image is awesome. I love that face on him. Look at that. That's an awesome image. Now here's the figure. So he is packaged in robot mode instead of Tetrajet mode. He is a Tetrajet because in the first episode of the Transformers, he was a Tetrajet before they went to they left Cybertron and went to Earth, and the jet mode was scanned. So you can see most of the jet is on his back. So let's just get in at the face sculpt real quick. This is one of the greatest things about this figure. He has a wonderful face sculpt. He also has some really nice light piping, as you can see there. It's a little dark, but once you get the light just right, it's really, really nice. Tons of sculpted detail all throughout here. The plastic quality on this thing is really good, as I've come to expect with the Siege line. He's got these null rays, which I wish were the G1 style null rays. Not that these look bad, but these look more like a handgun than a null ray. At least for the Generation 1 style null rays. And they kind of stick out really far to me. Also, another thing about this design is the wings. You see a lot of this. They managed to get some paint in there, which is really nice. But you see a lot of just the hollow area here, which isn't too bad. But it does look sort of. It is. You can really notice it in the robot mode. At least I do. However, all the detail is really done well. Now, one of the things he does have is a lot of that battle damage, and I don't think you could get this off without taking this blue paint under it off, which is kind of a shame because it almost blocks this blue piece entirely, and there's a huge splotch of it right here, and on his arm, which you can see right here. A little bit on his other arm too. Not too much on the chest, a very little bit of it. It's one of those things he would look much nicer, in my opinion, without it. Overall, he's a decent Starscream figure. He looks pretty good in robot mode. His Feet, on the other hand, look like he's standing on his tippy toes. To me, this is my opinion. It looks sort of weird to me. His feet should be out more like that, kind of maybe like that. As you can see, kind of looks more like a foot rather than standing up on his tippy toes. That said, he has an incredible range of articulation in the entire figure. The feet, the ankles, can both go forward and backward and side to side. The leg of the hip could rotate up pretty far. The knee goes really, really far down this way, which is partly due to transformation. But hey, look at this. This is cool. This is a spring-loaded, little spring-loaded section on the back to keep it from being hollow. This is one of those quality things. I don't mind paying $30 for a Voyager if they're going to do something like this to make it look really nice, not hollow. It's a very nice thought to do. Getting back onto articulation, he has a thigh swivel, and the hips will also go in and out, like all the way. He could do the full splits. Let's get his arm out of the way. He goes back not too far because of the jet mode on his back. He can go a little further there. His legs do hit the crotch piece when you move him this way, but it's moving it out a little bit. It's all right. He does have a waist swivel, which is something lacking on most Starscreams, and I'm really glad they put that in. That is very good. Now to his arms. His shoulders will rotate all the way around. He has a double jointed elbow, so he could get really good bend there. He's got bicep swivels. He's got, now this is really hard to do, these fists are really tight. To the point of actually, if you can see it, kind of coming out there when I turn it. See if I can get it focused here. So you can see it kind of popping out. You got to kind of pop it in all the time. But it does have a swivel in the wrist and a little bit of a in and out motion in the wrist, which is mainly for transformation. Put the null ray back on. Head is on a ball joint, so he could look inquisitively, or he could look a little bit up and down. Let's see, his head can go up a little bit more than this if you move this flap and put this flap under. Wings are on a hinge here and on a swivel here, so he get his wings in some good positions and make him look pretty dynamic. Overall, the robot mode's really nice. They did a great job in the robot mode. So, on to transformation. First thing you want to do is remove the null rays. Then, one more thing I forgot. Almost forgot about the articulation. You could take his shoulders and move him this way, so he has a little bit of... You could move it like a little bit, kind of almost like the shoulder motion, so he could almost cross his arms. Almost cross his arms. Hey, you. It's pretty cool. He's got a crazy amount of posability, which is really fantastic. So now let's get him into jet mode, tetrajet mode. Move his null rays. Take his arm, open up this, flip the fists in. Take the elbow, move it around, in, and close it. Now this doesn't snap, which is something I wish it did. I really wish this snapped, because when you move the fist, it just opens. But it would be nice. It is what it is. Like that. So now you have little two nubby arms. So now take the chest piece. Now this is where a lot of people have problems, and mine included. It looks like there should have been a pin, but there isn't. We'll see if there actually is a running change or not. So you take it up, which it will pop out all the time. Lift it up like this. Take these pieces here. Put them off. They're on a little, there's a little, see if you can see it in there. right here. It goes into the hole there, so you just kind of lift them up like this and then swing them around on both sides, which create the nose of the Tetrajet. For some reason, I can't seem to get... There we go. The nose of the Tetrajet. So it's all on this little hinge here. So this piece here, you take and snap into a hole on the back of the head, like that, and that holds the head secure. So you move the head like this, move the chest piece up and off right here on this hinge. Now the head will fit. You have to have this hinge piece up like this, otherwise the head won't rotate all the way back in. So now, take the waist, turn the waist all the way around. Take the feet and a la Robotech, do this, or Jetfire, as it were. Now, take the legs, fold them in. You can see these pieces right here. There's these tabs that tab right into them, and they hold pretty securely on either side. Just press them in. Now take the arms, move them out, and there's this two little holes there and two little holes there, or two little tabs there, and this just, see if you can get in close there, and you just push them in, tap them together, and it holds pretty tightly. And you do that same thing for the other side. Rotate the arm, get the tabs lined up, push them together. So what that leaves is the shoulder pieces sticking out like this a bit. So here's where we are now. You take the top piece forward and down, and you take the wings, make sure they're straight like so, and fold them down. Now there are a couple things with the wings. There's also these tabs here on the arm and here on the wings. And then there's a little tab here. This tab goes under this piece, these tab into the arms. So put that under, like that, and then press and tab them into the arm. Same on the other side. And then you take the back piece, fold it up, take the top piece, fold it out and down and around, and then just push, tab everything together. Null rays either go here on the shoulders or under the wings, whichever is your liking. And here he is in jet mode. So in jet mode, he actually resembles a Viper from Battlestar Galactica. Now, truth be saying, would be really, really hard to get him into a convincing Tetrajet mode like the Cybertronian mode he was in episode 1 of the Transformers. It looks fairly decent. It looks much better in person, with the exception of the chest on the back end of it. The legs being just folded up under it doesn't really look all that bad in person. It sits fairly well. It's got a little port here too, and here, so you could actually put it on a stand, which is nice. Really nice addition. A lot of cool things went into this. The cockpit is just a clear piece of plastic snapped on or glued or whatever onto it, but it looks really nice. It really stands out really, really well. For all this attention to detail, you get one thing which may not bother you, may not be even an issue for you, but it is not really an issue for me. But in a series where there's a lot of attention to detail, I find it kind of odd that they put this. Maybe it's an Easter egg because these are actually in the movie, but that is a movie Decepticon logo with the diamond eyes that you see on the side of the jet. Not really much of an issue. It's just interesting to me, I think. Maybe it's a little Easter egg because they looked very much like this in the Bumblebee film. So now, move the camera a little bit to compare him with some other Starscreams. Here he is with the classics Starscream. Now, this is the original classic Starscream, not the G1 colored one, obviously. It's on the list for me to get. I just haven't got it yet. But you can see how he compares in size. This is about the same length. Now, in robot mode, he is a lot taller since this is a deluxe and that is a Voyager. Weight-wise, it's hard to say. I would think this one's a little heavier. And here he is with the 1984 Generation 1 Starscream. So you can see this one is a little bigger than this one. Okay, now for some robot mode comparisons. So as I stated before, this guy is a Voyager size. So he does fit really well in the Siege line. Actually, he's a good size for a Generations line as well. So here he is next to the first Classics Generations Starscream. You can see he's got a lot of height on him. Here he is next to Generation 1 Starscream. Masterpiece Starscream. As you see, they actually look pretty good together. A lot of elements of design do carry over. They look very good. So he's a good size. And here he is next to Megatron. And Soundwave. Well, he looks really good at the line. He fits really well in that line. So for some final thoughts about this guy. Well, there you have War for Cybertron Siege Starscream. He is a pretty decent figure. As I said, his posability is through the roof. He has a ton of detail on him. The Tetrajet mode just doesn't really work, though. He could use some detail work, like the chin strap is very strange on his face. He don't like his feet. They look like he's standing on his tippy toes instead of like that. Would be more like a boot should be. Overall, he's a decent figure. The question is, does he fit in your collection? Now, he doesn't fit in my collection. He doesn't fit in a Generations collection, in my opinion. He does fit if you're just collecting Siege. Having missed the last couple Starscreams, Titan Returns and Combiner Wars, I can't compare him to those. But he is a good, solid figure. A lot of thought went into it, and I appreciate that. So if you go to the store and you need a Starscream for your collection, pick him up. If you happen to have the Classics Starscream and that's what you want to fit, the Earth mode fits in your collection better, then leave him for someone else. Until next time, I'll see you later.